Good morning. You're listening to 99.5 FM KHEA radio. This is Kickstart, and we hope that you're having a wonderful day today. We got some wonderful guests in studio. Nashville recording artists, my one and only. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks
for having us.
How was the drive in this morning? I got to get that question out of the way because that was the first thing that was brought up this morning.
So yeah, the drive-in was a little stressful only because so I don't know if you don't know this, but we tour in a van, and it's like a little tiny home, and so it has everything in it that you would need except for a shower. So we go to Planet Fitness, shout out to Planet Fitness, because you can bring one member, you can have a free guest. Well, I thought I had time to work out, but I didn't. And so I got ready in the back of the van while Ben was driving all the way here.
She stresses me out.
And he was so stressed out because when I walked out of the gym, my hair was wet, I had on no makeup, and I had on gym clothes. And he was like, "What are you doing? We have 8 minutes." And I was like, "It'll happen."
And you got ready in time, and you guys are here. And
Are you ready, Cass?
Well, it could have been better, I'm not going to lie. But he was so stressed out, and I was like, "Stop looking at me." I was like, "You're stressing me out." But guys,
I tell you, though, the one awesome thing that did happen this morning is, well, Cassie basically woke up, opened the van door, and there's the sunset or the sunrise on the Gulf of Mexico. That was one of the
really cool.
one of the best scenes, waking up right there.
Awesome. Hey, we're having some issues on our social media. We had some internet issues this morning right before we went live. So I'm going to kick us off the FM. We're going to try to fix everything that's going live with our social media. I just want to make sure that our audience is able to participate with us today on our social media page. So give us 1 second. We'll be right back. Good morning, everybody. We're going to try this one more time. This is Kickstart. We're going to kick it back on the FM here and tell our FM audience kind of what's going on, and then kick things off. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. We're going to be talking to recording artist, my one and only, and hopefully now the internet's going to be working. So give us a second. We're going to kick it on the FM one more time and get things going. So we got to wait for this commercial to finish, and then we'll kick it on.
And would love to talk to you about all the opportunities for your child at ALCS. Just call 409-935-8773 for more information.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. KHEA Radio 99.5 FM, broadcasting live from Lamarck, Texas. I think we got everything fixed and everything should be ready to go on the FM and also on social media. So if you're tuning in, go ahead and share this out and tell people to spread some positivity in our community. And I look forward to what's going on today. So we have recording artist, my one and only, in studio. And they just got done playing some shows. And can you kind of tell us a little about who you are and what you guys do?
Yeah, so my name is Ben Wilson. My wife, Cassie's over here. We make up the duo, my one and only. We do kind of raw Americana music. And we live in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're touring all the time. This is probably our third tour here in Texas. And we always love coming here to Texas. We just played a few shows, Galveston and Cypress, and we got a few Houston area shows coming up here in a little bit.
Awesome. And you guys just performed recently. Can you guys talk about a little bit about where you guys were and what you guys were doing here in Texas?
Yeah, so we were down in Galveston, what was it, 3 nights ago?
mm-hmm.
In Jamaica Beach, playing a show. Had a great crowd out there. And shout out to our friend Jill for bringing a bunch of people out.
Yeah, the people that he works with.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the night after that, we were up in Cypress. I've got a cousin who lives up in Cypress, and so it was great to see him. And we played a show up there and had a great crowd. Cool venue up there called Murdoch's.
Murdoch's. I've actually heard of Murdoch's.
Okay.
I think I've heard of that. I know it's all the way up in Cypress, but I've actually heard about. How did that show go?
It was good. They got a pretty sweet outdoor area and kind of a family-oriented thing out there, and a bunch of outdoor activities, and great burgers. I tell you, a great burger menu, like really good burgers.
Well, it was crazy too because for those just joining, we're from Nashville, Tennessee, and this is January, and we just played outside. That is mind-blowing because in Nashville, it's like, oh, I don't know, 30 or 40 degrees. So to be able to play a show outside in January was weird.
Yeah.
It was
yeah,
nice.
I didn't know how it was going to go when they said outside, but it went well.
Yeah.
In Texas, the weather's always usually great, so you can definitely have shows all year round. That's one of the reasons why I moved to Texas.
It's a great place.
I moved up here from Vermont, and definitely you do not do outdoor shows in the middle of winter, when it's snowing and blizzards. So I'm glad Texas was able to treat you guys to an outdoor show. So you guys sing country, and one of the things that I get, it's a little bit old school country. Is that correct?
Well, we don't call it country. We call it Americana.
Okay.
But honestly, Americana music is when you don't fit anywhere else, you just say, I'm Americana. So basically what we are is we're like country, soul, singer, songwriter, folk, all infused into one. And that's Americana.
I like that. That's one of the first things. You guys sent us some songs, and immediately I said, it's kind of twangy in a way, right? Is that a good way to describe it? I'm trying to describe it in the best way that I possibly know how to do it.
I like it. I like
It's
twangy.
got a little twang to it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm from Alabama, so there has to be some twang in it.
So what brought you guys to Nashville, where you're like, hey, you know what? I want to be a musician, and I want to pursue this full time, right?
Yeah. Well,
Wait, you guys both hesitated there a little bit.
Well, I went to audio engineering school in Nashville. So I got an audio degree and started working in a studio there and did a lot of live sound around Nashville, which is actually has proven to be a great thing for us as musicians, just knowing how to do your own sound and the sounds that you want. And we also produce our own music. So a lot of the songs that you're hearing, the ones that we sent you, were songs that we produced and recorded in our home studio. And then from there, from audio school, I always kind of wanted to play music and write songs. And so when I met Cassie, that kind of fell into place.
Yeah. And for me, I moved to Nashville when I was 19 years old, all by myself. My dad had just passed away. And I was like, I'm just going to go and chase my dreams. And so initially, I was 19. I just wanted to, honestly, if I'm being honest, in my mind, I was thinking, I just want to be a country music star because I was still a kid and I had a lot of growing up to do. And so I moved to Nashville all alone, completely fearless, which is mind-blowing because now I'm like, I'm scared of everything. But so I moved to do music, and then I was a solo artist for years and did country soul. And then when I met Ben 12 years ago, he was also doing his own thing. But even after we met, we didn't start writing together. Now, I used to write once I met Ben, I wrote all of my songs because I was absolutely in love with him. And I knew from the moment I met him that I wanted to marry him. So my first album, the OG album, Cassie Miller, is pretty much written all about Ben. And so anyways, so he couldn't write with me about that. But then it was crazy. Yet. He could just be like, oh, that's so awesome. But how must that feel, having a whole album written about you?
I feel very honored.
No, you should.
I think that's true love. Maybe that's,
Yeah.
people are missing that. They don't have somebody to write a whole album about them. One day I want a whole album written about me, but...
Right? Adele, she writes a whole album about you, but it's after you broke her heart.
Right. Or Taylor Swift, one of the two.
So, yeah, so I was doing my own thing, and then it was crazy because people are always like, how long have y'all been a duo? Well, Ben and I have only been doing this duo thing for about 4 years. And we had this, I think I had told, I think we might have told the story. I don't know. But anyways, we did a show to let everybody know that we had a big surprise. And so they came to the show, and at the end of the show, we're like, hey, by the way, we're going to be a duo. And everybody's like, we thought you were. And we're like, are you serious? So we've only been doing this 4 years as a duo, but
wow.
It's been awesome.
And you kind of get to travel now too as a couple, driving around, doing shows. You get to experience things that most couples don't get to experience because you get to travel and be a part of each other's lives and wake up late.
looking
Yeah,
at the beach from your van bed.
It was like this morning it went from like just the most beautiful scene, waking up, to the most stressful thing. It was like the opposite ends of the
It was
spectrum
super
today
stressful.
already. And what time is it? Like 9 o'clock only?
Just get it out of the way.
But sometimes it's life, right? Like sometimes, you got to be able to hit that, where you have to hit the snooze button a couple times.
We'll write a song about it. It's going to be fine.
Do we get included? Does KHEA get included in the lyrics?
Well, you'll be in the video.
You might get a credit.
I like that. I like that a lot. Gardy had to call me this morning because, usually I don't run the morning show. Usually Gardy's doing it. And he made sure, he's like, hey, I'm calling you in 5 minutes. I'm calling you in 10 minutes. Make sure that you're out of bed and that you're at work so that you can do the morning show. It needs to happen. I'm like, okay, Gardy, you don't need to call every 5 minutes, but he
Dad.
did. Yeah, thank you.
That's why you got your energy drink here this morning.
I do, and that's giving me the energy to get through today. So you're listening to 99.5 FM KHEA Radio in Lamarck, Texas. We promote positivity in community, and we are talking to Nashville recording artists, my one and only. Guys, you guys have a show tomorrow night, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what's going on tomorrow night?
Yeah, so tomorrow night we're in Angleton. It'll actually be our first time we've ever been to Angleton, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a venue called the Dirty South. And
I just love that.
That's great.
Dirty.
And on Thursday nights, they do this thing where it's like a candlelight, intimate storyteller acoustic show.
Okay.
And tomorrow, we are the featured artist on that show. So if you're attending, you'll have candles on your table. You'll be able to eat a nice dinner and hear some great acoustic music. I just called our own stuff great, by the way. Some great acoustic music and a lot of stories. And all of our live shows include a lot of storytelling. For me, when I go to a concert, that's one of the coolest things is hearing the stories behind the songs, hearing some of the inspiration, and just hearing some of the funny or interesting stories that artists tell between songs. And that's a big part of what we do in the live show. So if you're around Angleton, come on out. It's at 7 p.m.
I'm kind of disappointed that Gardy wasn't here to be a part of this because that's where he grew up. He grew up in Angleton. I don't know if you knew that or not.
He mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, so he grew up in Angleton and moved here to Lamarck when he was I'm going to mess this up, 8 or 9 years old or so. But he actually went to Nashville too. He had a band
too, yeah.
In Nashville, and I think it's really kind of cool, working for KHEA and helping KHEA Radio is we get to meet all these cool artists that come in here and do interviews. And, the stories are kind of similar. For you guys, it was like, hey, I want to make a career out of this. I'm going to go to Nashville and I'm going to try, Talk about that. It's tough, right? To make that decision where you're going to say, I'm going to go and pursue this full time. Right? Or am I wrong on that?
Well, for me, it wasn't tough because honestly, I'm from a small town in Alabama, and I had just lost my dad, and I was just kind of ready to spread my wings and I'm just going to go do it. And I had no intention of ever leaving or going back. I don't know. I'm a dreamer, and I just believe that it can be done. And so I'm just glad that it's so cool to be able to do it with your husband. And to be able to say that you're doing something that you love full time and you're making a living, you're getting by.
Right.
You're living this glamorous life of living in this van where you can touch each side with each arm with the
But
one
you can wake
love.
up to the sunrise over the ocean.
I'm living the dream. So no, in all honesty, we're super grateful, and especially to be able to be touring musicians at a time like this. God's just straight up provided for us throughout COVID, and it was so eye-opening to me. I know that's a whole nother thing, but it's just it was just cool to realize that you can get by on so much more little than you ever thought, and you don't even, I don't know, he just provided, and so we're still doing what we love and getting by.
The reason why I asked about making that decision to go to Nashville, because now you're in Lamarck, Texas, and you're playing in Angleton. You probably never imagined that you would even know the name Lamarck, Texas, right?
It's true.
I mean, it was the first time I'd heard it on this trip.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's got a ring to it.
It does. And Lamarck is a great community. Shout out to Jill. I see that she is watching from the Galveston Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
We love the people down there in Galveston. We were there. I was there twice yesterday in Galveston. It's a good 30-minute drive from here. We're shooting some videos for the Economic Development Corporation. And so we had to go down there, fly the drone a little bit. It was kind of fun. I want to hear some of the music, and I think our audience does as well. We're at what time is it? It's like 9:30. So I want to do that. I want to get them set up where you guys can perform a little bit so that our audience knows. And it can be a little teaser, maybe a song that you can kind of tell people like, hey, if you're in Angleton tomorrow night, you have to come and check this out, right?
For sure.
Are you guys ready? Do you guys think you guys can do that?
Absolutely.
All right, so social media. We're going to take a quick break on our FM radio station. We're going to play a quick song. You're going to get some behind the scenes on the setup process of what it goes into setting up a local artist in studio. So you're listening to 99.5 FM KHEA Radio in Lamarck, Texas. Awesome. All right. So
And we're still Facebook and everything live right now.
we are still Facebook Live. So I was talking to them kind of about our journey this morning about how KHEA Radio used to start. So what we did is we just started on the FM. You know, we were an FM radio station. We would just do the FM. We'd cut in from the songs and do like a little 10-minute talk, you know, for 2 hours or whatever, do 10 minutes, you know, and then go back and play music, right? Like most radio stations do. And then one day I took out my phone and I said, I'm going to show our Facebook audience, well, you know, my Facebook friends. And we started going live on Facebook. And then we found out like, oh, we can get a better camera if we use an iPad. So we set up the iPad and set it on a stand and did it from the iPad. And then like one day we had like a big interview coming in, like I think it was the College of the Mainland. The president of the college was coming in and we're like, well, we can't just do this on an iPad. Like this is a chance to show who we really are. And we realized, oh, our computer, it was sitting right here. And we realized it had a webcam. And it was connected into the board so the audio could actually be connected in. So we did that. And so it's just kind of developed. And then we got blessed. We had a share-a-thon and people gave and donated over like $20,000 for us to get these nice GoPros and connect it all in. So we love doing stuff on social media. So our social media audience can kind of tune in and see behind the scenes. But when we first started, like we would just sit there and just not do anything, you know, like talk on our phones and we would have conversation and realize like people wanted that behind the scenes stuff. So that's why we stay live on Facebook the whole time. Yeah, it's great. It's different. I wish more radio stations would do it. We could see behind the scenes. They get to see it all. All right. So, do you want to do a quick so I can?
What are you sing?
Want to do Sometimes Paid in Sorrow?
Sure.
She didn't sound like she wanted to do that one, did she?
No, that was a maybe.
And then I was thinking, gosh darn it, I left my harmonicas in the car, van, house.
the life of that. All right. So, by the way, Amy says, hi, Cassie and Ben. Just waking up to the two of you. Great way to start my day.
Oh, is that? I don't know who that.
Amy Austin?
Yeah, from California.
Amy.
It's so cool. That's one of the coolest parts about social media is you're able to connect with people all over the world. You know, we've done interviews with people all the way across, you know, the other side of the world, you know, which is awesome. Like just to think about, we have people tune in from Africa. We have people tune in.
Yeah, we had some of our friends from Uganda tune in when we were doing it with Gardy.
That's awesome. Yeah. So it's so cool. Shout out to everyone who's watching right now. Thank you guys. If you guys are watching, we're about ready to do a live performance. We're going to kick it on the FM here in about a minute or two. And then do the live performance. If you're watching, go ahead and share this out. You know, one of the things that really helps, I guess, get the message out that, hey, you guys are playing in Angleton tomorrow, that you guys are traveling around doing shows all over the country, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had to make sure before I asked. Sharing it out just helps it out. It helps us reach more of an audience. So hit the share button, hit the like button. Ask a question if you want to know anything that's going on. Dennis says, good morning. A chilly morning in Detroit.
Oh,
See, people
hey,
tune
Dennis.
in everywhere. All right. Let me
It's
see.
chilly here, Dennis.
Yeah.
So we're going to go from like building 429 into what I call twang music. It's going to be great.
It's your twang, yeah. Do what you want to do.
All right. Let's see where that's at. Good morning, everybody. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. If you're tuning in right now in your car or on your phone, go ahead and tell a friend to turn on the radio to 99.5 FM. We're about ready to do a cool live in-studio concert with Nashville recording artists, the band, My One and Only. They're performing tomorrow night in Angleton. Where are you guys performing at again tomorrow?
The Dirty South.
The Dirty South. What time does that show start?
That is at 7.
7 o'clock. And it's a candlelit dinner, stuff like that?
Yeah, it's like storyteller, intimate. Low-lit thing, acoustic thing. It's going to be great.
That's awesome. And then after they perform, I'm going to ask them a few more questions because I know they have another show coming up. And I just, talk a little bit about what it's like performing during COVID. So without further ado, here's a little sneak peek to what you could listen to if you were in the Angleton area tomorrow night.
Well, to give you a little sneak peek of tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be kind of about doing a storyteller acoustic thing, and we'll be talking about stories behind the songs and stories behind the lyrics and whatnot, inspiration of our songs, which a lot of our songs have a lot of deep meaning for us. And even though in the morning people want to hear they want to hear something energetic so they can wake up, I think we're going to go the total opposite route. Let's sing something very, very meaningful.
People like meaningful.
So my parents, I grew up in Iowa, in the state of Iowa, and my parents lived there all their life. But 4 years ago, they moved down to Tennessee, just an hour south of Nashville, where we live. And my dad's been a golf professional all my life, and so they moved down there for a golf course. And they actually ended up moving back to Iowa after living in Tennessee for 4 years. They moved back during COVID. And those 4 years of having them close to us were really amazing years for us, amazing time for us to get to know my parents as an adult and for Cassie to get to know them too. This was kind of their going away song, as well as kind of a reminiscing song about where I grew up in Iowa. This one's called Sometimes Paid in Sorrow. The wind blows so cold here when there's no hills to interfere. It just sweeps through these plains without regard for where it's been. I picked up my guitar where the vinyl-sided houses are, rust in the wheel wells. Some things only time will tell. To find a place where we belong, we'll beg, steal, and borrow. But the price of getting near to someone is sometimes paid in sorrow. It came as a surprise to me up and moved to Tennessee. Wagered everything you had. No promise of what you get back. And you cried when you were saying how it seems hearts are always breaking. It seems hearts are always breaking. To find a place where we belong, we'll beg, steal, and borrow. But the price of getting near to someone is sometimes paid in sorrow. To find a place where we belong, we'll beg, steal, and borrow. But the price of getting near to someone is sometimes paid in sorrow. Is sometimes paid in sorrow. Is sometimes paid in sorrow.
Woohoo! That was great. I was jamming. That was fantastic. That is my one and only. They're performing tomorrow night on Thursday at 7 o'clock in Angleton at the Dirty South. So if you're in the area, you should go check it out. Talk a little bit about that song. What does that song mean to you guys? I mean, to match voices like that where you guys, I mean, it's just, I could sit there and listen to that all day.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the song is, just kind of a reminiscing song about where I grew up in Iowa. If you grew up in the north, right?
I actually grew up in Nebraska. Like, that's where I grew up.
We're like kindred spirits then, yeah.
Yeah, we have a better football team, but we won't get into that.
We rooted for Nebraska all growing up,
Okay,
even though we lived in Iowa.
I like you then. Okay, awesome.
But we have a better one.
She's from Alabama.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
I like how you ignore me. I don't hear you.
Who was that talking? Let me check the mics. Is it working?
You muted my mic. And I'm just like.
So it's about growing up in Iowa, a simpler time.
So there's just a lot of like kind of Midwestern and Northern references in there. The rust in the wheel wells and the vinyl-sided houses, and just kind of a reminiscing song about the things that I remember about growing up in Iowa, and as well as, just kind of I guess some of the sadness of when my parents moved back to Iowa from Tennessee, because it was such a good time just getting to know them those 4 years. So yeah, that's kind of what that song is coming from.
I like it. I think it's a great song, and I'm excited for you guys tomorrow night. If I wasn't, I'm going to clear my calendar to come and watch you guys, because that would be awesome if you guys are in Angleton tomorrow night at 7. You also have a show in Houston. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this coming Monday, we're playing in proper Houston at Dan Electro's. That is a Monday night singer-songwriter showcase. What time does that start? Maybe 7?
Sounds good.
You'll start playing at 7 now.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to that show too, because being a showcase as a songwriter, because songwriting is what we do. We're storytellers, and so we want people to know that if you come to our show, that we'll just take you on a emotional journey, because we'll connect with you in some way. And we're very honest with our lyrics, and we just tell stories from the heart, things that have happened to us, the pain, the happiness, the joy, but it's just an emotional roller coaster. I always say that we want people to leave our show feeling like they read our diary.
I like that. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And you got to think about the show, like how everything comes together too. It's not just about, hey, I'm going to get up there and play these songs, and this is the songs that we're going to do. I think that's, just from the people that I've talked to, I've never had to do it. I'm not a musical artist. I wish I was, but I'm not. But you have to think about that whole process too, like which song follows. It's not just getting up there and playing your favorites all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song?
Of anybody's?
Of ours.
Yours.
Of ours, okay.
This is your interview. I mean, this is your interview.
Well, I have a favorite song of ours, and it's a song that we recently wrote a couple months ago about my mom.
Okay.
And it's called My Favorite Parts of You. That's absolutely my favorite song. My mom has been sick the past couple of years, and just honestly has declining, but she's still hanging on. She's like a freaking cat. I love her. She ain't going nowhere anytime soon, but I've always wanted to write her a song. And so this last time that she was in the hospital, Ben just said, let's just sit down and do it. And so we sat on the back porch and we just wrote a song for my mom, and we went up to the hospital and played it for her, and she just wept. And my mom's not one of emotions, so it was really cool to see that she just loved it so much. That's my favorite song. What about you? He's like, Counting Crows. My
song. I love the song that we played. I love Sometimes Paid in Sorrow.
And it's about
That's
our parents.
one of my favorites, yeah. Oh, and we also have a one that we end our sets on. It's called Stumbling Stone. And you have to come to the show to hear the full thing, but a little synopsis is, Jesus in the Bible is several times referenced as the stumbling stone. And that has always stuck out to me. Like, he's called a lot of positive things, teacher, good teacher, son of God, all these positive things, but the stumbling stone sounds like such a downer, like such a negative thing. And you realize that he's the stumbling stone to people who are trying to do things without him, do things on their own. They stumble over him. And I love ending our sets on that song. It's just a somber vocal.
It's like an old hymn.
It's like an old hymn, yeah.
Wow. Okay. I can't. What is on my calendar tomorrow night? I'm going to have to
My
clear
one and
it.
only. My one and only at
My
7.
one and only at 7 in Angleton. I can make that work.
Candlelight
We're going to be
dinner. How can you miss it?
Party.
I may have to check it out. Jill, are you coming? Is she going to be there? Do you know?
She's going to be at Houston.
I think she's coming Monday.
She'll be out there on Monday.
Oh, okay. I might have to go. How far away is Angleton from here? Like an hour? Not far.
Sounds about right.
Not far. Worth the trip. Worth the trip.
We're worth
the
it.
trip.
Worth the trip. So if you're watching right now on social media or you're listening to 99.5 FM, KHEA Radio, make a trip tomorrow night to Angleton. Check out my one and only. I just wanted to say really fast, based on your stumbling rock piece there. It's interesting. So I had a rough day yesterday. It was one of those, like, it wasn't a bad day, but it was just like moments happen that were like, here we go again. Everyone has those every once in a while, and I had like multiple yesterday. And I was like, all right. I actually made a post on my social media page last night and said that I was gonna, I wasn't gonna be defeated by what was happening. I'm still pursuing my purpose. I'm still going after what God wants. And I feel like sometimes, even in that stumbling rock situation, he'll remove those people too that are not helping you pursue what he wants in your life. And it's kind of what I went through a little bit yesterday, was just those removal of people that I thought, were solid people in my life that aren't going to be there in a while. So like, I just think that that's kind of cool and interesting. I just wanted to bring that up really fast. Yeah. I'm sorry if that's off topic, but it came to me. So like, again, if you're, one of the things that we promote here at KHEA Radio is positivity and community, where, yeah, you're going to have stuff that happens. Life hits, you know. You wake up late in the morning when you're supposed to be at an interview at 9 o'clock and you have 8 minutes to get
early. I decided to work out. That's what took a lot.
There you go,
So
Cass.
honestly, it's a victory. I worked out and I got here.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is you got to have that victory, you know, mindset where, hey, I'm going to conquer today. I'm going to conquer what's next, and even though stuff happens in life. So that's why bringing this back in. Okay, so one more time, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Angleton at the Dirty South. Be there if you're not. If somebody can't make it tomorrow night, but they wanted to know how to find the information about you, where to go, how can they do that?
Yeah, so all of our information about our entire lives are on www.myoneandonlymusic.com. All our shows, all the ticket links and everything.
Yeah,
so.
and if you're far away and you're like, hey, I kind of like their music, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, we're on Amazon, we're on Google, anywhere, just get our music. We just want to connect with you in some way. And you never know, we may be playing a show near you sometime, so sign up for our mailing list. Just stay connected. We're on Instagram. You can find us everywhere.
My one and only
website?
Yes.
myoneandonlymusic.com.
Music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one without music was already taken, huh?
Probably. I think my one and only was like a 50s musical.
Yes. And for the longest time, iTunes had us with them, and it's like 50s music. And so people were like, your music's really different. And I was like, what? And I was like, that's not us. That's a musical. We had to contact them when they took them off of our page. But
That's funny. That's hilarious.
that's not us.
You could have taken credit for it.
Yeah. A little extra income.
A little extra income. Maybe that's what people are searching. I don't know
I'm
how
like,
many
oh,
people are
this is a
searching for 50
blessing.
musicals,
I know,
but
right?
you never know. You never know. So
Maybe
again,
we're getting our income.
Oh, that's what happened last year.
oh, iTunes. It's myoneandonlymusic.com. You can find them on Spotify. You can find them on iTunes. Go and check them out tomorrow night, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add before we kind of close today's show?
Well, we want to say thank you for having us. I mean, you guys had us. We did a Zoom call with you guys, and that was fun interview. And with Gardy, thank you for having us. And thank you to you, and thank you to Jill, because Jill connected us.
Yes.
And the Chamber of Commerce, they're all awesome. And we just appreciate, it's good to have good friends.
Yes, and I hope we become great friends. And anytime that you're back in Texas, you're like, hey, we're back. And you can come on the FM anytime. It's
Thank
great
you.
music, great people. Again, tomorrow night, check it out. myoneandonlymusic.com. You're listening to KHEA Radio 99.5 FM. Coming up next is Tree 63. Look what you've done. Have a great day, everybody. All right, guys. Thank you, Facebook. Have a good one. Share this out. Bye.